So read this first question. In this question, photon energy and the electron energy, right, are given. Each the energy of the photon and the electron both are equal, and it is assumed to be the E. Now you have to find the ratio of the photon momentum to the electron momentum. If this is the photon energy, E is equal to what? H mu is equal to SC upon lambda for the photon, right? The momentum is what? Say H upon lambda. H upon lambda is equal to what? Say E by C. This is the momentum of the photon. If you consider the electron, this is for the electron, the kinetic energy is half mv square. If you multiply by m in numerator and denominator, the energy is E. So 2m into E, and this is m square v square. When you will take the square root, so the momentum of the electron comes to be root 2me. Therefore, they are asking what? The ratio of the photon momentum to the electron momentum, that is the E by C, is divided by root 2me. If you simplify, this is the calculation. 1 upon C is equal to 3 into 10 to the power 8. The energy is given as 20 electron volt, right? It is 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19, and the 2 into mass is given as 9 into 10 to the power minus 31. Is it clear? So when you will simplify this ratio comes to be, right, 2 upon 250, 450. So this is equal to what? 250. Is it 450? 2 upon 450, that is 2 upon 225. So the fourth option is the correct option. Listen one thing. The photon momentum, right, and the electron momentum. So the photon momentum and the electron momentum, but they are asking the ratio of the 1 upon 225, right? And therefore the electron momentum and the photon momentum comes to be 225. So which option is the correct option? Say fourth option is the correct option, right? What if you are getting the correct answer? Comment in the comment box if you have done this correctly, right? Copy this. So read this second question. This is based on the Bernoulli equation. This is the tube. Here P point, the velocity is assumed to be Vp, and the velocity assumed to be the liquid of the Q. This is the Q. This is the rate of flow of liquid in, right, meter cube per second or centimeter cube per second, right? You have to apply the Bernoulli at P and Q. P plus half rho V square, P plus half rho V square at point P and Q. The pressure here, the area is small, here area is big, so the velocity will be more and velocity will be less, and therefore the pressure this point will be more and the pressure at Q will be the less. So Vpp and minus PQ is what? Say 15. It is given in the question. The difference between the pressure P and Q is what? 15 Newton per meter square, right? Although its area AP is given as the 40 centimeter square, and what is the AQ? It is 20 centimeter square. It is given, right? From here, if you apply the equation of continuity, then Vp, right, Vp upon Vq is nothing but AQ upon AP. The AQ area is 20 upon 40 is equal to 1 by 2, right? When you will apply half rho, if you take common this side, Vq minus Vp square, if you take the Vq common, right, the density of the water is rho, and it may be written as 1 minus Vp upon Vq square. So 15 is equal to 500, right, into Vq square is equal to what? Vp upon Vq is what? 1 by 2. 2 ka whole square is what? 4. So it is equal to 500 into 3 by 4, and this is the Vq square. Is it clear or not? Now we can simplify further. This is 15 into, right, 1500 upon 4 into Vq square, right? If you simplify, the Vq is equal to 15 into 4 upon 1500. So when you will simplify, 1.5 meter per second or 100 upon 5 is equal to 20 centimeter per second is the speed, right? Okay, the rate of flow of the liquid we have to find, which is given by Q. Either A1 V1 is equal to A2 V2 or AQ multiply by VQ, because we know the velocity at the Q point, which is equal to 20 centimeter per second. What is the area? Say 20. And what is the VQ? Say 20. So it is the 400 centimeter cube per second, the rate of flow of the liquid, right? 400 centimeter cube. So which option is the correct option? First is the correct answer. Comment if you have done this correctly. So read this question. Question number third, you have to find the angular momentum. Right. First of all, I am giving you the formula angular momentum about the point O. Right. And if it is a disk or some rotating body having the angular velocity omega and the velocity is v, I omega plus r cross p is the formula to find the angular momentum of the CTRM in the CTRM, है ना, combined translation rotation motion. But here in this question, this is the point A, right, and this is the point B. Also, this disk is rotating with angular velocity omega, but it is rotating about fixed axis. So its momentum yani that is the velocity of the center of mass is 0, so momentum is 0. So therefore this term will be 0, right? So with respect to IA, right, angular momentum about O, about A is the I into omega. I is the moment of inertia, omega is the, right, plus 0. In the same way, if you take the B, about B, the angular momentum is what? Say I omega plus linear momentum is not present, so 0. So therefore, angular momentum about A and B, whatever the distance it is, right, if it is R1 or if it is R2, the distance, it does not depends upon the distance. Therefore, LA upon LB comes to be I omega upon I omega, and therefore 1:1 is the correct answer. So fourth option is the correct answer, right? If you have done correctly, comment in the comment box. So read this fourth question. In this question, a long solenoid of length L is given. The radius is R, right? And N is the number of turns per unit length, right? So the formula you have to remember, this is the question directly based on the formula, as the capacitor is epsilon naught A upon D, therefore the inductance is mu naught N square A upon L. But here the A is what? The pi r square is the area of this cross section. If you consider the cross section, the area of this cross section is what? Say pi r square. So you will write mu naught pi N square R square L. So this is the inductance of this inductance, and it is very useful formula, right? Simple question, it is very simple question, and the second option is the correct option, right? Copy this. So read this fifth question. In this question, there is a metallic sphere of the radius r, right, and the linear expansion coefficient is alpha. So therefore the volume coefficient of expansion is gamma is equal to 3 alpha, and the initial volume is V naught, and it depends upon the temperature in this way. If you consider the calculation little bit, you will get gamma into delta T, or you may write dV is equal to V is equal to gamma into delta T. This gamma is what? Increase. The slightly increase in the volume depends upon the gamma into volume into delta T. Delta T is the change in the temperature, right? So what is the gamma? Gamma is nothing but 3 alpha. What is the volume? 4 upon 3 pi r is cube into delta T. So 3 will cancel out, right? So you will get 4 pi alpha r cube into delta T, right? Which option is the correct option, right? This is the change in the volume. The fourth option is the correct option. You have done correctly, write in the comment box. So read this question. This is the question number 6, in which there are the two circuits are given. The two resistance who one coefficient of resistivity is alpha. It is in one resistance it is positive, in other resistance it is negative. So both are connected in series in one circuit, and in the B circuit the both are connected in parallel. So you have to find the current IA and IB in this case. So if you consider the equivalent resistance, both are in series, so R1 plus R2 is the equivalent resistance. If you add them, right, if you simplify, then you will get the 2R0. So the R equivalent does not depends upon the changing in the temperature. So the IB is equal to what? IB is equal to what? Total EMF upon total resistance. So the V upon 2R0. So you will see that this current is constant. So IA, sorry, this is the IA. The IA current is constant in the circuit, right? But if we consider this is the equivalent resistance between A and B, so R1 R2 upon R1 plus R2 when two resistance are in parallel, and if you consider R0 into R0 square, here it is A minus B and A plus B, 1 minus alpha square delta T square, right? If you take the R0 common, right, R1 plus R2, so R1 plus R2, R equivalent is what? Say R1 plus R2 we have done, right, it is equal to what? 2R0. So you will see R0 by 2 is equal to 1 minus alpha square delta T square. So this is the equivalent resistance. Listen one thing, So this IB is nothing but what? Say V upon R equivalent, right? So you tell me if delta T temperature increases, so this quantity increases, so total resistance R equivalent what? Say decreases. If R equivalent decreases, so the total current will be increases. So I will be increases since the R equivalent decreases as delta T increases. So the IB increases, right, and the IA remains constant. So the second option is the correct option, right? This is the very good question. If you have done correctly this, write in the comment box. So read this question, question number, it is question number 7, right? In this case, this is the source of the light and whose power is what? Say P. The power is decreasing linearly, right? Decreasing linearly matlab it is the power as a function of time t and decreasing linearly power, right? While the power is decreasing, its frequency remains constant, right? So when the incident on the photosensitive material, the photoelectrons emits and they reach on the collector plate, and because of this battery the photoelectric current start flowing. What is the photoelectric current? Ip is equal to dq upon dt, and q is what? Say n into e. So E into dn upon dt. What is the dn upon dt? These are the number of photoelectrons, right? Number of photoelectrons. Fine. And how many number of photoelectron per unit second are reaching? This depends upon the number of photons incident on the collector plate. So if the efficiency of this material surface is photosensitive surface is eta, right, and dn upon dt is what? Number of photons per second incident on this plate, right, and dn upon dt is what? The number of photoelectron, and this number of photons incident depends upon the power, right? It depends upon the power divided by h mu. H mu is the energy of the one photon, right? H mu. So dn upon dt, so eta into dn upon dt is the number of photon incident per second. It is the p upon h into mu. H mu is the energy of the one photon. So number of the photoelectron per second is depend upon the power, and since this is the photoelectric current depends upon what? dn upon dt, number of photoelectron per second, right? Photoelectrons per second, right? And which is proportional to the, this is the efficiency of the surface, h mu is the constant, is proportional to p. So the photoelectric current is proportional to the power, and power is decreasing linearly. So therefore, if you want to make the graph between the photoelectric current and the power and the time, right, the same type of the graph you will get, right? So in the second or third option, the second will be the correct answer, because now in the other option what they are saying, the stopping potential. What is the stopping potential? The stopping potential, listen, the maximum kinetic energy of the photon, right? The maximum photon energy of the photoelectron is what? H mu. H mu is the energy of the photon incident minus work function, and this is equal to EV naught, H mu minus phi. So V naught is equal to H mu upon E, right, minus phi upon E. Listen one thing, if you are decreasing the power but the frequency of the light is constant, so this is the stopping potential. So this stopping potential is not changing with time. So if you make the graph between the stopping potential and the time, the graph will be the straight line. So definitely the second answer is the correct answer. If you have done this question correctly, write comment in the comment box. So read this question number 8. This is the Zener breakdown which works in the reverse bias condition. So this Zener breakdown voltage is what? Minus 3 volt. So when the current flows in this side, right, so this voltage, applied voltage, is more than the Zener breakdown voltage, and therefore the voltage developed between voltage drop across this Zener diode is what? 3 volt. So out of this 5 right input voltage, 3 volt is dropped over here. So on this resistance, how much volt will be there? Say only the 2 volt, right? 5 is equal to 3 plus 2, right? You can also apply the KVL, but it's the simple. If it is 5 and the 3 volt is dropped over here, so what is the VB minus VA? VB minus VA is the 2 volt it is, right? So which option is the correct option? So third option is the correct option, right? If you have done this correctly, write the comment in your comment box. So read this question. The question number 9, the viscosity. It is based upon the terminal velocity, right? Although the concept of the terminal velocity, you know that buoyance and the viscous force become mg, and when you will calculate this, the terminal velocity formula is this. So according to the question, the variation of the terminal velocity with the ratio, right? Who's the ratio? Terminal velocity and the ratio sigma upon rho, right? The sigma spherical ball, the density of the ball is what? Sigma, and the density of the liquid is rho. Listen one thing, out of all these 4 options, right, the correct option is the second option. Why? Because listen one thing, when sigma upon rho is equal to 1, that is sigma and rho, that is its density of the ball and that liquid density are equal, the terminal velocity become what? Say 0. So therefore the terminal velocity becomes 0 when this ratio is 1. And if it is increasing, right, if you take this, then it will also increasing, right? So you can see in the 4 option out of 4 option, in the second option is the correct option, in which when the sigma upon rho ratio is equal to 1, that is the density of the liquid and the solid are equal. When the density and the density of the liquid and the solid are equal, the terminal velocity is 0. The second option is the correct option. If you have done this question correctly, right, write a comment in the comment box. So read this question. In this question, this is based upon the escape velocity from the planet. These are the 2 planets whose radius r1 and r2 are related like this. r1 is equal to 1 by 2 of r2. And what is the escape velocity formula? It is equal to 2 gm upon r. But in the question it is given that the planet P1 has the mass m and this is also the mass m, only the radius are different. So for the escape velocity, root 2 gm, this is constant. So escape velocity is proportional to what? Say only the radius. So if you want to write the v2 upon v1 ratio, then r2 upon r1 is the correct answer. So r2 is what? R2 is as it is. And what is the r1? Say r2 by 2. So if you simplify this, it is root 2. So v2 upon v1 is what? Say root 2 upon 1 is the correct answer. So fourth option is the correct option. If you have done this question correctly, write a comment your answer. Copy this. So read this question number 11. It is based upon the series LRC circuit, in which circuit is the resonance. So what is given? The voltage source, the supply is given, the alternating supply is given, the inductance and capacitance are given. First of all, you should understand, you should have to find the frequency. The resonance frequency for this circuit is 1 upon root LC. If you put the L is equal to 10 millihenry and the capacitance is 25 microfarad, right, then if you simplify this, you will get the resonance frequency is 2000 radian per second it is. And if you consider this is the voltage supply to sine omega t. So what is the frequency of the source? So the frequency of the source and the resonance frequency is the same. So therefore this circuit is in the resonance. In this resonance, the current is maximum, right? So in resonance, this is the condition of the resonance, since the power supply frequency is the resonance frequency of the circuit. Therefore circuit is in resonance, and the resonance, the current is what? Say maximum, and the inductance is what? XL is equal to XC will be there, right? XL minus XC ka whole square plus R square. So the total impedance, it will be 0. The impedance will be equal to R, and the current will be the maximum, which is equal to the voltage supply. If this is the V0, the voltage amplitude or the peak voltage divided by resistance R. So it is equal to 220 upon resistance is what? 100. So 2.2 ampere is the maximum current in this case, right? Copy this. So which option is the correct option? The second option is the correct option. If you have done this correctly, definitely you should write a comment. Copy this. So read this question number 12. There are the 2 inductor whose inductance is L. They are connected in series and they are connected in parallel. The same current, time variable current is flowing right in the circuit. So the induced EMF here, what will be the induced EMF? Say L di upon dt. L is the inductance, di upon dt is the rate of change of current. So this is the induced EMF in this case, and this is the EP. But here, if you consider this is the current IT, so the current will be I by 2 this side and the I by 2 this side. So if you consider this is the L, right? And therefore the induced EMF is what? In this case, the EQ is nothing but E is equal to L di upon dt, right? But the here the I is what? So L is as it is, but the I is nothing but I by 2, right? So 1 by 2 comes out from the integration di upon dt, L into 1 by 2 di upon dt. And what is the L into di upon dt? It is equal to what? 1 by 2 into EP. So what they are asking? They are asking, right, EQ upon EP is equal to 1 by 2. So therefore, right, EP upon EQ is equal to 2:1. So which option is the correct option, you tell, right? So the first option is the correct option. If you have done this question correctly, write definitely your answer in the comment box. So read this question number 13. This is the simple question based upon the capacitor energy, right? The energy stored in the capacitor is UP, and in the total energy in the circuit, and the total energy stored in the circuit is what? Say UT. So if you find, if this is the V volt battery, so this is the V and 0, right? It is V and this is the V by 2 and this is the 0. So the potential drop across this capacitor, both are the capacitance C and C, right? So V by 2 and the V by 2 will be the potential drop. So if you want to write the energy of this capacitor P, half C into V, half CV square. V is what? V by 2. So this is half 1 by 8 CV square is the energy of the capacitor P. And if you want to find the energy of this total system, so then you have to find the equivalent capacitance between A and B, right? So how to find the equivalent capacitance between these two terminals across the battery? C and C are in series, so therefore this is the C by 2 and this is the C, right? This is the C and the upper two capacitor are equal to C by 2, right? It is connected to the battery of the voltage V. C and C are in C and C by 2 are in parallel. So what is the C equivalent? C plus C by 2 is equal to what? Say 3C by 2. So what is the total energy of the circuit? Half C equivalent into V square. 1 by 2, 3C by 2 ka whole square into V square is equal to 3 by 8, 3 by 4, right? C into V square. This is the total energy. What they are asking? They are asking the ratio of UP and UT. So this is half 1 by 8 CV square and this is equal to what? This is equal to 3 by 4 CV square. CV square will cancel out. 1 upon 8 into 3 by 4 is equal to 1 by 6. Right. So the ratio is the 1 by 6 and the first option is the correct option. If you have done this question correctly, write your answer in comment box. So read this question. In this question, a conducting loop of the area which is variable as a function of time t lies in the magnetic field, right? Apply perpendicular to the normal of the plane of the loop and it is along the z direction. So you have to find the power dissipated as a function of time t in this loop. Listen one thing, if this is the loop and the area is changing, therefore the flux linked with this loop is changing, so the induced EMF will be produced in this battery. And if the resistance of this coil is what? Say R, so power will be produced and power will be equal to what? E square upon R. So you have to find the induced EMF which is found by the right formula d phi upon dt. So d phi upon, what is the phi? Is the flux B into A, but B is constant, so dA upon dt. Is it clear? So induced EMF is nothing but dA upon dt. This is the A. D upon dt, you have to differentiate A naught 1 plus sine t it is, right? If you differentiate this, this is A naught 0 plus cos t, fine, and B A naught cos t is equal to E as a function of time t. Therefore, if you want to write the power as a function of time t, E square upon R, which is nothing but B square A naught square, and this is equal to cos square t upon R. This is the power as a function of time t. So this power as a function of time t is proportional to cos square t. Although the third option look like the correct answer, but its graph should be like this. So according to me, there is a mistake in the graph. Although this option is given, right? Generally in most of the book, the cos square t graph is like this. If in mathematics you will see, right, it is not differentiable over here, but in mathematics cos square t is the differentiable and this is the correct representation. So we can write the third option is the correct option, but the graph given in the question is wrong, right? If you have done this question correctly, write in the comment box. So read this question number 15. In an adiabatic expansion, number of moles is 1. Gamma for the monoatomic gas is already given. The temperature decreases from 60 to 50. The work done in adiabatic expansion is nothing but P2 V2 minus P1 V1 upon 1 minus upon gamma minus 1, right? And or it may be written as nRT2 minus nRT1 upon gamma minus 1, right? So if you take nr common, T2 minus T1 upon gamma minus 1. Now you can put the value, the number of moles are 1, the R value is given 8.3, and the temperature, right, T1, listen one thing, this is 1 minus gamma, right, 1 minus gamma. So T2 is equal to what? Say it is say 50 minus 60, right, upon 1 minus 5 by 3 it is, right? So if you want to write 8.3 minus 10, right, decreases, and this is minus 2 by 3. So if you simplify this, minus minus cancel, sign will cancel out. 8.3 into 5 into 3, right, and this is 8.3 into 15, right? So when you will calculate this, you will get 124.5 joule is the correct answer, right? So which option is the correct option? Fourth option is the correct option. If you have done this correctly, right, you can write the answer. Copy this. So read this question number 16. This is a very good question in which the displacement of the particle is given as alpha t square minus beta t plus gamma. Alpha, beta, gamma values are given. Therefore, this is the displacement as a function of time t. If you want to write the speed or the velocity, so then you have to differentiate ds upon dt. T square differentiation is 2t minus 60 plus 0. So the velocity you will get 2t minus 6. Velocity as a function of time. If you draw the graph, this is the straight line and the c-intercept is minus 6 at t is equal to 3 seconds, right? If you put the v is equal to 0, the time will be what? 2t minus 6, t is equal to 3 seconds. At 3 seconds, the velocity is 0 and then it will increases. So what they are asking the average velocity or average speed of the particle, right, from t is equal to 0 to 3 to 6 seconds. Is it clear or not? If this is the 3 second, this is the also the 3 second, right? So if this is the 6, therefore this also will be the 6, because everything these are the similar triangle. So this is the 6 meter per second. You can put the t is equal to 6 over here. 6 to the 12 minus 6, so 6 meter per second. At 6 second, the velocity is also 6 meter per second. Is it clear? Now we have to find the average speed, not the average velocity. So if you consider the displacement, the total displacement will be the 0, because this area will be equal to what? Minus 1 by 2, 3 into 6, right, it is 9. And the same area you will get, the A2 is also, it is 1 by 2, right, it is also the plus 9 you will get. So if you want to find the displacement will be 0, but the speed will be what? The positive 9 plus positive 9. So the total distance will be written as minus 9 plus 9, A1 plus A2 area, it is equal to 80 meter is the total distance. So what is the average speed? Average speed is nothing but total distance divided by total time. So what is the total distance? The total distance is nothing but 18, and the total time from 0 to 6 is the 6. So 3 meter per second is the average speed, right? So which option is the correct option? The fourth option is the correct option. If you have done this question correctly, write a comment in the comment box. So read this question number 17. On the basis of the electromagnetic spectrum, write the simple question. The microwave is used for the microwave oven, right? So for food, warming the food, this is the correct answer. Radio wave, first of all, the radio wave is the third part, and this is the AM and FM communication, right? It is very simple, right? And therefore the ultraviolet rays for purifying the water, right? UV rays, purifying the water, understood? UV ultraviolet rays technology is coming in the right, your water purifier. And gamma rays is used for the cancer, right, cancer treatment, right? So which option is the correct option? If you see, the second or fourth option will be the second option, right? This is the PQRS. This is 1, 2, third, and it is fourth, right? P ka second, right? Q ka first, right? And R ka third, R ka fourth, and S ka third. So the fourth option is the correct option. If you have done this correctly, please write in the comment box. So read this question number 18. It is based upon the degree of freedom. Ideal gas is made of polyatomic molecules, right? Translational modes are 3, rotational motion are 3, vibration are F. Although we don't teach the vibration motion, but they are vibrational motion they are asking. Listen one thing. The vibration is that M and M. Suppose these are the molecules, and when they are vibrating, so they will have the two types of the energy in the one vibration. That is the kinetic energy of the molecules, also the potential energy, which is equal to half k, which is equivalent to half kx square, and the kinetic energy of the molecule is what? Half, right? Reduce mass into v relative chi square. So therefore the 1 plus 1, so for 1 degree of one vibration, right, for one vibration of the molecule, 2 degree of freedom will be there. In the same way, if the F vibration modes are there, so the degree of freedom will be there for the 2F. So if you consider the total degree of freedom for this polyatomic gas molecule, in which translation, rotation, and the vibration, which is equal to 2F, right? So the total degree of freedom, 3 plus 3 plus 2F is equal to 6 plus 2F. This is the degree of freedom. Therefore the CV is equal to what? Say degree of freedom by 2. CV is equal to F by 2 into R. What is the F? F is the total degree of freedom. You have to write DOF into R. So what is the total degree of freedom? You will write 6 plus 2F by 2 into R. Is it clear? If this is the CV, then CP minus CV is equal to R, and you can write CV is equal to R plus CV. R plus, what is the CV? 6 plus 2F upon 2 R. It is better to write 3 plus F into R in this way, right? So this is 3 plus F into R. So it is equal to 4 plus F into R. Is it clear or not? Right. So this is the value of the CV and this is the CP. But in the question, the CP upon CV is given as 8 upon 7. And if it is 8 upon 7, we have found CP is the 4 plus FR, 3 plus FR. The RR will cancel out. Now if you cross multiply, 24 8F is equal to 28 plus 7F, right? So it is equal to F into 4. So the value of F comes to be the 4, and the second option is the correct option. Fine. If you have done this question correctly, write definitely in your answer in comment box. So read this question number 19. This is a very good question based upon the electrostatics. Suppose this is the uniformly charged sphere, right? And charge density is rho. So what is the total charge on this sphere? Can you find? The charge on this sphere is nothing but rho into its volume, 4 upon 3 pi r cube. Now, if you consider this is the small q, right? The small q charge is to be taken, which is equal to 1 coulomb unit charge from A to B. So the work done in moving the charge from point A to B is nothing but q into delta V. What is the q? Q value is 1. The VB, the potential over here is due to this potential, the total charge is q, kq upon this distance RB, right, minus the potential at this point kq upon RA, right? What is the RB? You will say 3R. What is the RA? You will say 2R. If you simplify this, kq upon R, 1 upon 3 minus 1 upon 2, right? So then what will you say? It is kq upon R, right? 6 is the LCM from give me 1 minute, from A to B, right? And this is 2 minus 3 is equal to minus kq upon 6R, right? So if you have to take the the magnitude, right? So work is what? I'm writing this side. It is equal to k q upon 6R. What is the value of k? 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, right? And this is the q upon 6 into R, right? So 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught into 6R. And what is the q? Q is the total charge over this sphere, which is equal to rho 4 upon 3 pi r cube, right? If you simplify, 4 pi will cancel out, and 6 3 is 18, 1 upon 18 epsilon naught over here, and this is the rho r and r cube, the r square. So rho into r square upon 8 epsilon naught is equal to total work, right? And this is the 18. 4 pi will cancel out. 8 3 just 6 3 just 18. So the first option is the correct option because you have to compare with rho r square upon n epsilon naught. So the value of n is 18 and the option number 1 is the correct option. If you have done the question correctly, write your comment. So read this question number 20. The current is I naught and the two semicircle ABC and ADB, its resistance is half of that of ADC. It is given in the question. Therefore, if it is the total current, the current divided rule I had applied. I1 is equal to what? R2 upon R1 plus R2 into I naught. Right? This is the current in this branch. And the current in this branch I2 will be equal to what? R1 upon R1 plus R2 into I naught. So this is the current. Listen one thing. If you consider this is the semicircle, right, because of this current, right, the magnetic field is what? Say I1, B1 is out of the board, and because of this current, the magnetic field is what? Say B2 is the into the board, right? So what is the B1? Due to the semicircle is mu naught I1 upon, right, 4R. It is the magnetic field due to the semicircle because the magnetic field at the circle at the center is what? Mu naught I upon 2R. So therefore half of this is 4R and B2 is what? Mu naught I2 upon 4R. Is it clear or not? The I1 is what? Greater and I2 is what? Say less. So B1 will be greater than B2. So at the center here, the total magnetic field is out of the board and the total magnetic field I am finding here B1 minus B2. Right, what is the B1? Mu naught I1 upon 4R minus mu naught I2 upon 4R. So mu naught, right, upon 4R I1 minus I2, right. So the total magnetic field is mu naught upon 4R. What is the I1? It is 2 upon 3 I naught minus I naught upon 3. If you simplify this, I am writing this side. So the total magnetic field is what? You will write mu naught upon 4R, right. 2I, the 3 is LCM, 2 I naught minus I naught, right. It is equal to mu naught I naught upon 2LR, right. So which option is the correct option? The second option is the correct option. If you have done this question correctly, definitely you should comment in the question. So read this question. In this question, above B of this is the B and this is the A, it is moving with mass, both masses are same and the collision is elastic. When it hit with this bob, right, so it come to a rest and this mass M start moving with speed V, right, and the length is what? Say 10 meter, right. It is the 10 meter. Suppose the angle is what? This is the length, and what the height it will rise before coming to rest, this you have to find. So you can do in this the simplest way, you can apply the conservation of energy. All the kinetic energy at this point is converted into, because velocity becomes 0, so all this is converted into potential energy. So half mv square converted into mgh, so h is given by v square upon 2g. So the speed over here is 10, 2 into 10, so it is 100 upon 20 is equal to 5 meter, right. So the fourth option is the correct option. If you have done this question correctly, comment your answer. So read this question number 22, electromagnetic wave. In the electromagnetic wave, the electric field is given as E naught sine kz minus omega t. Kz minus omega t mean it is moving in positive z direction. This is the basic concept. So if you consider the first option, the direction, and you have to choose the incorrect option, right. The direction of propagation of the electromagnetic wave is along plus direction. First option is the correct option. What is the second option? The speed inside the medium. If this is the wave which is moving, the ER is given by 9. So if the refractive index, you will find the ER into mu R, right. Right. So ER is given as the 9 and mu R is, you can take 1, right. So refractive index is 3. So the speed of the electromagnetic wave is nothing but C by mu. C is what? C is 3 into 10 to power 8 and the refractive index is 3. So the speed is 10 to power 8 meter per second. So according to the second option, the speed of the wave inside this medium is 10 to the power 8 meter per second, which is also the correct option, right? Now if you consider the omega is what, 2 pi into 10 to the power 6. So v is equal to what, say f into lambda. So wavelength is given by v upon f. So the speed is 10 to the power 8 and the frequency is what? 2 pi f is equal to 2 pi into 10 to the power 6. So the frequency written is 10 to the power 6. So I am writing it 10 to the power 6. So 100 meter. So the wavelength should be equal to the 100 meter. But in the option C, it is given as the 300 meter is the wavelength. So this option is the wrong option, right? Also, the fourth option is the correct option. If you consider the magnetic field related to this electric field, mu into sine, right, kz minus 2 pi into 10 to the power 6t. So this is the correct option. The third option is the wrong option, right? If you have done this question correctly, write your comment. So read this question. In this question, there is a particle of mass m and it is moving on the rough horizontal surface between x is equal to 0 to x is equal to L, and the friction coefficient is mu naught minus alpha x. It is given. So the friction will be acting over here. So you have to find the total work done by the frictional force from here to here, and so that at kinetic energy varies. Coefficient of kinetic friction is this. Listen, one more thing is given. At x is equal to L, the friction coefficient becomes 0. So if you put x is equal to L over here, write L, right, the friction coefficient becomes 0. So mu naught minus alpha L. So alpha L is equal to mu naught. This is the one more relation we have found. Right, now the work done you have to find. So at x is equal to L, right, mu is given L. Now we have to find the work done, because the friction force is variable. Friction force is what? Say mu into n. And what is the mu? The mu is variable. This is the mu. And what is the n? N is the mg. So dw is equal to what? Friction into dx. Elemental displacement if we consider dx. Although the work will be negative, but I am finding the magnitude. The friction is equal to what? Mu into n into dx. What is the mu? It is given as the mu naught minus alpha x. And what is the n? You will say mg, because this is the mg, right, and the normal is n, and this elemental displacement is what? Say dx. So what is the dw? So this is the dw. Dw is nothing but, I am writing this side, mu into n into dx. So if you take the mg common, this is mu naught minus alpha x into dx. This is the dw. So to find the total work, what you have to do? You have to integrate from where to where? From 0 to L. This mg is what? Say constant. It comes out from the integration. This is the total work done by friction. Mu naught minus alpha x from 0 to L. Mg, the integration of 1 alpha x square by 2 from 0 to L. So this is mg. Fine. If you put the upper limit, mu naught L minus alpha L square by 2 minus, put the lower limit, it becomes 0. So therefore, if you put mg common, take L common, mu naught alpha by 2. This is the 2. And alpha L is what? Say mu naught. So mgl, mu naught minus mu naught by 2. So mgl, and this is equal to mu naught by 2. So 1 by 2 mu naught mgl, right? This is the total work done by the friction, and this is the magnitude. Here in the question it is given as n mu naught mgl. So what is the value of the n? If you compare, the value of n is 1 by 2, and the first option is the correct option. If you have done this question correctly in this way, you have to comment. Copy this. So read this question number 24. In this 24, an object is placed at the 5 centimeter width material, and this is in the mid. So therefore this distance is 2.5. When viewed from material P, and which is nothing but air, because its refractive index is 1. So what will happen? This height, this is the object, and this is the image I1, right? And therefore this distance is h1. So you can apply the formula. If viewed from here, this is the I and this is the R. So the h I is nothing but object upon Ni upon Nr. The Ni is the incident medium 1.5, Nr is the refracted medium 1, and the HO is what? The height of this object from this surface is 2.5 centimeter. So 2.5 upon Ni is what? Say 1.5. The Nr, this side is 1. So 2.5 upon 1.5. If you simplify this, what will you have? This is the NQ is equal to 1.25. So you have to write, right, it is 1.25, this is 1.25, and you will get the 2 centimeter. So this height, according to the question, the image height is nothing but h1 is equal to 2 centimeter. So this distance is 2 centimeter given in the right h1 in the question. Now when you see the same object from the medium r, what will happen? This is the image, this is the refraction here, this is the rarer medium, denser medium, so it will move towards the normal. Here it is move away from the normal. So let's see, in this case the image height is given by again HO upon Ni upon Nr, right? This is the formula of the refraction through the plane surface. The height object is again 2.5 centimeter, but this time this is the incident medium and it is 1.2, and after this is the R, this is the refractive medium, it is 1.5. So when you will simplify 2.5 1.25 into 1.5, so it is equal to what? 2 into 1.5 is equal to what? 3 centimeter. So this is given as the, this image distance is given as the h2 in the question, and they are asking the value of h1 minus h2, the magnitude they are asking. So it is 2 minus 3 is equal to 1 centimeter. So which option is the correct option? Third option is the correct option. If you have done this question correctly, you should comment. Copy this. So read this question number 25. In this question, there is a fixed uniformly sphere of radius r, right, and the charge q is distributed over here. The minus q charge is released from rest. It is u is equal to 0. So due to the attractive force of this positive charge, it will acquire some speed, and you have to find the speed when it reaches to the point B. So you, because of this, minus work done by field is nothing but work energy theorem. If you apply WET, total work is equal to K final minus K initial. The initial kinetic energy is 0 because initial speed is 0 of this minus q. When this minus q reaches to this point, it becomes half m v square. What is the work done by the field? The work done by the field is q into delta v, right? Q into delta v, half mv square. Listen one thing, this is the, that what is the charge? Say minus q. The delta v is what? Potential vb minus potential a. Minus minus become plus, so it is vb minus va. It become equal to half m v square. So they are asking the speed. You have to write the potential at b. Because of this capital Q at distance r on the surface, the potential is kq upon r. At this distance, from at this point distance r, this is 3kq up, oh sorry, this is kq upon 3r is equal to half m v square. Is it clear or not? So if you simplify this, you will get definitely the correct answer. K into q into, right, it is 3 by 2 kq upon r is equal to half m v square, right? K value is what? This is q, 3 by 2 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q upon r 1 by 2 m into v square, right? M into v square, 1 by 2 and 3 by 4 pi epsilon naught small q upon m into r is equal to v square. Fine. So give me 1 minute. 3 by 2 kq upon r 4 pi epsilon naught. Okay, so if you simplify from here, half mv square become equal to what? This is right. If you simplify further, right, it become 2 by 3, right, kq upon r is equal to half m v square. Now if you put the 2 to the 4 by 3, the value of k is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught, and it is q upon r into m into v square. 4 will again cancel out, so v square is what? Small q capital Q 3 epsilon naught m into r. So the speed is nothing but capital Q into q, 3 pi is also left, 3 pi epsilon naught m into r. So which option is the correct option, you tell? The fourth option is the correct option. If you have done this correctly, write your comment. So read this question number 26. A car travel on the circular track of the radius r, this is the center, and if car travel at speed, what is the speed? The speed is 10 meter per second over here, right? If the car travel is the speed and the radius is what? Say 50 meter it is, right? Without wear and tear, that is no friction is acting between them. Only the centripetal force is obtained by the component of the normal reaction, right? Here the tan theta is equal to what? V square upon rg formula you can apply. So V is what? Say tan square, the radius is 50, g is equal to 10, 100 upon 500, so it is 1 by 2 is equal to tan theta. So the theta is the angle, banking angle, right? Tan inverse 1 by 2, so this is equal to 1 by 5, sorry, right? So the second option is the correct option. If you have done this is the simplest question in this exam, you can say. Comment your answer if you have done correctly. So read this question number 27. Frictionless circular wire of unit radius r is given as the 1 unit, right? 2 point mass, unit mass star simultaneously. This is the angle theta, right? So therefore this become what? Say it become pi by 2, and right below it become minus pi by 2. Is it clear or not? At the B, this is the B point, this is the A point. At the theta is what? Say pi by 2, and at this point theta is equal to what? Say 0. So what they are saying, right, in two opposite directions they start simultaneously and they are moving and they meet at the B simultaneously, therefore they are moving with the constant speed. Suppose at some time they reaches at this point, right? Suppose this is the theta and theta, right? Their speed is v, right? Speed is v, both have the same speed. If you consider this is the theta, this is the theta, 90 minus theta, so this is what? Say v cos theta, this is what? Say v sin theta. Is it clear or not? The mass is m, this is the v sin theta and this is the angle theta, and this is what? V cos theta. So if you are writing the linear momentum of the system, mv sin theta will cancel out. So linear momentum as a function of theta, you may write m into v cos theta, right, and m into v cos theta. So the linear momentum is 2mv cos theta as a function of theta, right? Now which option is the correct option as a function of theta? It depends upon the theta. Listen one thing, at theta is equal to pi by 2, right, cos pi by 2, the linear momentum will be what? Say 0. Is it clear or not? At theta is equal to 0, this angle is theta is equal to 0, right? The linear momentum is maximum and 2mv cos 0 is 1, right? And when the theta become minus pi by 2, right, the linear momentum become again 0 if you put minus pi by 2. So which option you can see? At theta is equal to 0, the linear momentum is maximum, right? So, and this is varying as a function of cos theta. The cos function is what? The cos function is like this, but here the theta is equal to 0, right? The maximum, right, at minus pi by 2. Listen one thing, you will see the first, second, third option are not the correct option, right? And the fourth option is the correct option. If you observe this, right, at pi by 2, right, momentum is 0. At minus pi by 2, the momentum is again 0, and if it will be 0, right, because pi by 2 angle become 0 and it become minus by 2, and it is the 2mv, so this is the maximum linear momentum. So the fourth option is the correct option. If you have done this question correctly, comment your answer. So read this question number 28. There are three identical p-n junction D1, D2 and D3. You will see this D2 is open, right? So its width is V2, W2, and if you consider this is the forward wise, D1 is forward wise, so W1 in the forward wise, the depletion region is decreasing, right? It remain as it is, and when in this reverse wise, W3 is what? It is increasing. So the biggest or the big depletion region is W3 and the smallest is what? Say W1. Is it clear? And between them it is W2. So which option is the correct option? Fourth option is the correct option. If you have done this question correctly, write your answer. To read this question number 29, there are the two combination of the convex and concave length plus 10 and minus 10 the focal length. Object is placed 30 centimeter toward the left of the convex length. So you will apply 1 minus v 1 by 1 u is equal to 1 upon f. For this is the object. Let's see where the image will form. Listen one thing, 1 upon v, the u will take say minus 30, focal length is 10, 1 upon v plus 30 is equal to what? 1 upon 10. V is equal to what? 1 upon 10 minus 1 upon 30, right? So if you take the LCM 30, 3 minus 1 is equal to 1 by 15 it is. So V is equal to what? Say plus 15 centimeter. Mean the image is forming where? At the 15 centimeter. This distance is what? 3 centimeter, and this is the intermediate image, and this is what? Say 15 centimeter total distance. So if this is 3 and this is 15, so this image act as the virtual object for this concave lens, which is placed at the 12 centimeter. Now for concave lens, right? For concave lens, if you apply again 1 upon v minus 1 upon u is equal to 1 upon f, right? So what is the u? U is what? In this direction it is plus 12, the focal length is minus 10, right? So 1 upon v is equal to 1 upon 12 minus 1 upon 10. If you take the LCM 12 into 10, 10 minus 12 is equal to what? Say minus 2 upon 120. So 1 upon v is what? Say minus 1 upon 60 is equal to minus 60. Therefore the image, right, the image is like this, and therefore from this point, right, the minus 60, if it is 3 and it is 30, right, so the image formed at minus 60 mean at this point, right? So this is the minus 60 means 60 centimeter towards left of the concave lens, the image is formed. So the third option is the correct option, right? So image is forming, final image is the virtual and forming 60 degree towards the left of the concave lens. If you have done this answer correctly, comment your answer. So read this question. In this question there are two sphere, big sphere and small sphere attached to each other. The radius is r, the small radius r is this, right? In this case the moment of inertia of this system about the diameter of the solid sphere is Ia. And how to write the Ia? The moment of inertia of this solid sphere is 2 upon 5 mr square plus the moment of inertia of the small sphere will be written with the help of the theorem of parallel axis. So about this axis, this is the ICM. ICM is nothing but 2 upon 5 mr square plus m into d square. What is the d? R plus r. You will write m r plus r ka whole square. So this is the moment of inertia about the diameter of the big sphere. Now if you consider this is the IB, right? This is the IB. The IB is what? The about this, if you consider this the whole small sphere, 2 upon 5 mr square plus, right, about this axis the moment of inertia, this will be applied by the theorem of parallel axis, which is nothing but 2 by 5 mr square. This is the ICM about this axis plus m into capital M into d. What is d? R plus r into whole square. So this is the ICM plus md square for the big sphere, right? This is the Ia and Ib. What they are asking? They are asking Ia minus Ib. If you subtract this minus minus, so this will cancel, this will also cancel. Here mr plus r ka whole square minus capital M r plus small r ka whole square. It is m minus capital M r plus r ka whole square. Is it clear or not? So the third option is the correct option. If you have done this question correctly, comment your answer. So read this question number 31. Consider the electron is revolving around the nucleus in the hydrogen atom in the excited state. Suppose the radius is r, the speed is v. So when when electron or the particle is moving in the circular motion, this electrostatic force of attraction will provide the required centripetal force equal to mv square upon r. The electrostatic force is nothing but k q1 q2 upon r square is equal to mv square upon r. Is it clear or not? So the r, one r will cancel out and r may be written as k square upon m into v square. The value of k is 9 into 10 की power 9. The value of E is 1.6 into 10 की power minus 19 का whole square. The mass is 9 into 10 की power minus 31. It is given in the question itself. And the speed is given as the, right, this is the speed root over 2 5.6 into 10 की power 5. So I am writing here 2 5.6 into 10 की power 5. And this is the whole square. Okay. So if you make the whole square, it become like this. 9 will cancel out, 9 and 31, it become 40, right? So 1.6 whole square if you simplify into 10 की power minus 38. In the denominator, 2 5.6 into 10 की power 10. When you will simplify the radius, right? 1 into 10 की power minus 9, you will get, and according to that, it is x into 10 की power minus 9. So the value of x is 1. So the first option is the correct option. I think, hope you can solve this simplification, right? Everything will be cancelled out. 1 into 10 की power minus 9 will be left. So if you compare with this x value is 1 and the first option is the correct option. If you have done this question correctly, you can comment your answer. So read this question number 32. It is depends upon the mean free path formula, right, for the gaseous molecules. And here this formula is used. The mean free path is equal to 1 by root 2 pi d and n. N is the molecule density and d is the diameter. So here we have the two ideal gas A and B, right? In that question, the diameter of the molecule of A is twice the diameter of B. If number of densities are Na and Nb, right, it is Na and this side is Nb, then the correct relation you have to find if the mean free path of lambda A is the half, right, the mean free path of B. Is it clear or not? So lambda A is equal to what? 1 upon root 2 pi dA square into Na. Lambda B is equal to 1 upon root 2 pi dB square into Nb, right? So what is the lambda A upon lambda B? Is it nothing but you will write, when you will simplify this, 1 upon root 2 pi dA square Na divided by root 2 pi, right, root 2 pi dB square Nb. So you will write dB upon dA ka whole square Na and Nb. Is it clear or not? So lambda is what? So it is equal to 1 by 2 lambda B. Lambda B will cancel out. So it is 1 by 2 dB upon dA. dB is as it is. And what is the dA? The dA is nothing but 2 dB ka whole square, right? It is equal to Nb upon Na. When you will simplify, you will get 1 by 2 is equal to 1 by 2 ka whole square. This is 1 by 4 and Nb upon Na. So if you simplify, Na is equal to 1 by 2 Nb, right? So which option is the correct option? So the first option is the correct option, right? This is the simplest question, right? Formula based question. If you have done correctly, comment your answer. So read this question. In this question, cylindrical cork. This is the simple SHM question, simple harmonic question. And this question I have done many times the shortcut. When a cork or the cylinder or the cube is dipped and it is pressed, and if it is light, it will oscillate. The time period is nothing but 2 pi root h upon g. H is what? Say height of this cylinder or the cork, you can say, and multiply by h, density of solid and density of liquid. This is the formula. So in this case, the T1 is what? 2 pi root h upon g. The density of the solid is rho s and the liquid density is rho 1. In this case, when it is dipped in the liquid 2, density of rho 2, and it is dipped, it is pressed and released, oscillate SHM, the time period is t2 root pi 2 pi root h upon g, multiply by h is of what? Say solid, density of solid, and divided by liquid density. Is it clear or not? So t1 upon t2, when you will simplify, right, you will get root 2 upon root 1 because it is inversely proportional, right? This is the one thing. And t1 is what? Say time period, it is given as t, and here it is 2t. So you will get 1 by 2 is equal to rho 2 upon rho 1. So if you simplify 1 by 4 rho 2 upon rho 1, right, what they are asking, rho 2 upon rho 1 is equal to 1 by 4. This is the correct answer. So the first option is the correct option if you have done this question correctly in this shortcut way, right? Otherwise it will be very tough question, right? Comment your answer. So read this question number 34. For the sound wave, if number of note for the fifth harmonic, open end, this is the note, this is the first, second, third, fourth and fifth. In the fifth harmonic, right, this is the figure you must understand. And how many notes will be there? Node, 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 node. This is the fifth harmonic, this is the second harmonic, this is the first harmonic. So in the fifth harmonic, number of notes are what? Say 5. Now if the same pipe of the same length is closed at one end, so this is the first harmonic, third harmonic, fifth harmonic, the odd harmonic will present and the even harmonic will be absent. Here it is the one node, it is what? Say 2 node, right? 1 node, 2 node. These are what? Say 3 node, 1, 2, 3 node, right? In the ninth harmonic, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 node, 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 node and node. So again there are the 5 nodes in the ninth harmonic. What they are asking? They are asking the ratio n by m. So in this case, in the fifth harmonic, the number of notes are 5. In the ninth harmonic, when it is closed at one end, in the ninth harmonic, the number of notes of 5, right? So what is the ratio? N by m is 1:1. So the fourth option is the correct option, right? Although this is also the good question, if you have done correctly, comment your answer. So read this question number 35. Uranium, right, it disintegrate in thorium and helium. So the Q value you have to find. So to find this, the mass defect, the Q value is nothing but mass defect into C square, or it is 931.5 into delta M. The mass defect must be in, right, in AMU. So what is the mass defect? The daughter, the parent nuclei is 238.05, right, minus this is 234.043 plus, right, 4.003, right. So this is 238.05, and what is the amount? It is 0.046832. So if you take subtraction, right, this is 238 minus 0.046, right? If you subtract, this is the 6, so it is 0.04 AMU, right? This is the delta M, and therefore the Q value can be found by multiplying by delta M, and the answer will be in mega electron volt. So when you will calculate, you will get 326 into 10 ki power 3, right, electron volt. So therefore 3726 kilo electron volt, it will be the answer. Is it clear or not? This in the mega electron volt. Copy this. So in question number 36, it is the error question from the error chapter, right? It is the theoretical option, right? The index correction only will be done, right, in measurement of the focal length, measurement of focal length, right? When we perform the experiment to find the focal length using the optical bench, then the index correction is done when you subtract the distance between the lens and the object and the images, right? So this is the theoretical question you must answer. Copy this. So read the question number 37. This is the easiest question of this exam, right? Solar system, the time period. If you have seen, this is the mass of the sun and the mass of the planet. We have seen many times, right? The third, Kepler's third law, the square of the time is proportional to the r cube. Therefore, T is proportional to r ki power 3 by 2, whether it is elliptical or whether it is the circular motion, if you consider, right? So the third option is the correct option. Definitely, I hope you have done this question correctly. Comment your answer if you have done correctly. So read this question number 38. The dimension, right? Sigma s, the Stephen constant, Stephen's constant, the Kb, the Boltzmann's constant, right? And the B, the Wien's constant, right? This is the Wien's constant, Boltzmann's constant. Listen one thing, and you have to find the dimension of sigma s b upon kb. Stephen constant, the heat per unit time, the energy radiation per unit time, Ce sigma a t ki power 4. So from here, right, this is the energy per unit time area. It is the dimensionless. Its dimension is what? 1a into t ki power 4. This is the sigma s, right? This is the Stephen constant. This is the first thing. Now if you consider the Wien's constant, lambda t is equal to b. If you remember the formula, this is the lambda t, right? And what about the kb? If you consider the energy is nothing but 3 by 2 kt, right? This is kbt, right? In the gases theory we have seen. So kb formula is nothing but E by T. I am not writing the 3 by 2. So therefore sigma s into b upon kb. Sigma is what? Sigma is E upon T into a into t ki power 4. What is the b? B is nothing but lambda into t. What is kb? Is nothing but E by T, right? So 1E will cancel out, 1T will cancel out. So in the numerator it is lambda t, here Ta into t ki power 3 it is. 1T is also cancel out, lambda t upon a, and this is what? This is t square. So lambda is the wavelength in meter, time is in second, area is in also the meter square, so it is L square. So L square, sorry L. The lambda is in meter length, it is L, area is L square, temperature is what? Temperature is K square you have to write. So if you simplify, L upon L square, L minus 1, T minus 1, K minus 2. So L minus 1, T minus 1, K minus 2. The second option is the correct option. Although it may seem to be very tough if you don't know these formula which simplify the calculation, right? Comment your answer if you have done this correctly. So read this question number 39. It is the photoelectric, depends upon the photoelectric chapter. The light of the wavelength lambda is incident upon the 3 photoelectric shell, lambda 1, lambda 2, lambda 3 are the, right, the threshold wavelength. Listen one thing, if the frequency is mu and its threshold frequency mu naught, to emit the photoelectron, what is the condition? The incident frequency must be greater than the threshold frequency, but the frequency and the wavelength are inversely proportional. So therefore to emit the photoelectron, this wavelength must be greater than the threshold wavelength. These are the threshold wavelength of the material given. It means the wavelength incident must be, listen one thing, this wavelength must be less than, this incident wavelength must be less than the threshold wavelength, or the frequency must be greater than the threshold frequency. Is it clear or not? So in this question, the relation between, and the when the photoelectrons emitted, right, the electron moves towards the collector plate and the stopping potential is given by EV naught, right, Sc upon lambda. This is the energy of the photon incident minus work function, which is equal to phi, and this phi in terms of threshold wavelength, it is given as the threshold wavelength, it is the stopping potential, right? Although this is the theory. Now if we consider this is the lambda 1, according to the question, right, the relation between lambda and lambda 1, it is given. What is given? The lambda is greater than this threshold wavelength is greater than, right, threshold wavelength is less than, threshold wavelength is less than the incident wavelength. It means this wavelength is more than the lambda 1. So therefore no photoelectric effect will be produced, because to produce the photoelectron, this wavelength must be less than this threshold wavelength, but here lambda is greater than lambda 1. So no photoelectric effect is considered is happening. So therefore what is the cutoff potential, stopping potential will be 0. So therefore in the option 2 and 3, may be the correct answer. Now we consider the other option, lambda 2. This wavelength is given as, suppose this the wavelength of the incident light is lambda, and this lambda 2 is greater than this, right? So it means this wavelength, incident wavelength, is less than lambda 2, therefore the photoelectron will definitely emit and the stopping potential is V2. But here, listen one thing, this lambda is very less than lambda 3. It means, listen one thing, as the energy of the photon is what? Sc upon lambda. If the wavelength is continuously decreasing, the energy of the photon is increasing. Is it clear or not? This is also increasing. So in this case, the speed by which it will emerge, if you consider the speed is V3, V2 and V3. So in this case, the speed which will be more speed or the more kinetic energy it will have, right? This photoelectron will have the more kinetic energy, so more stopping potential. So its stopping potential is V3. If it's kinetic energy K3, you may write it is K2, you may write the kinetic energy K1 is 0. So if the photon energy of this third plate is greater than Ke2, so therefore to stop the photoelectron, more potential is required. So if this is the stopping potential V2 and V3, which will be greater? If its kinetic energy of this photoelectron is more, so you need to stop this more potential. So therefore, right, V3 is greater than V2, right? So which option is correct option? Or V2 is less than V3 and V1 is what? So 0. So which option is the correct option? Second option is the correct option. Although this question may be little typical, but not so tough, right? Comment if your answer is correct. So read this question. In the question number 40, what they have given, although this is the bonus question, how it is I will tell you. In the question, one main scale division is what? 1 millimeter, and they have seen that the number of division on vernier scale is 10. So this is the normal vernier calipers we are using, in which 9 MSD uses are equal to the 10 VSD. So the least count formula I am using, least count is equal to MSD minus VSD. MSD, 1 VSD is equal to what? Say 9 by 10 MSD, and therefore the least count comes to be 0.1 mm or 0.01 centimeter. Here, now when both jars are touched, right, 0 is, suppose this is the 0, right, like this. This is the vernier calipers, right? This is the main scale 0, 1, right? It is to have the correct reading, this 0 must be equal to what? This is the vernier scale, this is the main scale, this is the vernier scale, 0 must be coinciding. But here in this case, 0, this is 0 is what? Towards the left, like this, right? In this case, right? And the fourth division is coinciding. If the fourth division is coinciding, it means, right, the negative 0 error is how much you will say? Is equal to minus n minus fourth. And what is the 10 minus 4 into least count? So minus 6 into least count is 0.01 centimeter minus 0.06 centimeter. So this is the negative 0 error we have found, right? And now if this vernier caliper measure the length of the wire is 1 centimeter, so the main scale reading is what? Say 1 centimeter, right? Plus you have to add, you have to minus negative 0 error, right? Sometimes this is the reading is what? Is equal to 1 plus 0.06 is equal to 1.06 centimeter, and there is no answer given in the solution. That's why this is the bonus question. I think the solution they have done mistake. By mistake 1.04 they should have given the answer, because they did not use 10 minus 4, only the 4 into least count they have done in their calculation, and according to them the answer will be negative 0 error will be minus 0.04 centimeter, and according to them the answer should be this, but there is a mistake in this question and therefore it must be bonus, right? Copy this. So read this question number 41. It is also the very good question based on the properties of the conductor. This is the cavity in the conductor. Here the charge Q is present. Because of the induction, the minus charge will come over the inner surface, right? If you know the property of the conductor, and because this conductor is neutral, so therefore on the outer surface, because the this radius is similar, uniform, the charge will be uniform distributed, right? So here this is the point A, right? So at this point the electric field, this is the plus Q charge, the electric field will be from plus to minus in this way. So at this point electric field inside the cavity, the electric field will be there and it is not equal to 0, right? So either the first or the third option should be there. Also listen one thing, this charge and this minus Q charge neutralify each other, and from the center this is the point B and this is the point C, which are at the same distance. So because of this charge distribution, the electric field is what? Say in this direction. Is it clear or not? Like this. So at this point, if this distance is same, this distance is same, so electric field at B and the electric field at C must be equal. So EC and EB must be equal, right? So which option is the correct option? Third option is the correct option, right? Copy this. So now read the question number 42 in the Geiger-Marchant experiment. I think you know the formula, right? Geiger-Marchant experiment. The number of alpha scattering particle is proportional to sine raised to the power 4 theta by 2 it is, right? So which option is the correct option, right? This is the theoretical question and this should be the answer. And theta as a function of angle. You can verify also this, right? If it is sine inversely proportional to the sine raised to the 4 theta by 2, if the theta is 0, right, sine 0 is 0, so 1 upon 0 is equal to infinity. So number of particles are tending to infinity. If theta is equal to 180 degree, right, this is the theta, this is theta and this is 180 degree. Theta tending to 180 degree, 180 upon 290, sine 90, this is the maximum value, and therefore the n is what's a minimum, right? So as the theta is increasing, right, the maximum angle at 180 become 90 and the number of alpha particle deviating from it, their path is minimum. So the fourth option is the correct option. If you have done this question correctly, write your answer. So read the question number 43. It is the 1 mole of monoatomic gas, right, undergoes a cyclic process and you have to find the total heat supply. So the first law of thermodynamics, delta Q is equal to delta U plus delta W. In the cyclic process, delta U, no change in the kinetic energy, no change in the internal energy, and the total work done what? It is the clockwise cycle, so the total work is nothing but equal to area, right? So 0 plus what is the work done? The area. What is the area of this rectangle? This is the 3 and this is the 200, right? So it is 5 minus 2 into 300 minus 100, right? It is 2 into 200 is equal to 400 joule. So this is the positive, therefore the heat is supplied to the system is, wait for 1 minute, this is 5 into 2, this is 3, right? And this is what? 300 minus 200, so the 600 joule is the correct answer. So fourth option is the correct option. If you have done correctly, comment your answer. So read this question number 44. In there are the two wires A and B having the current I and 2I in the same direction. If the current flowing in the same direction, there will be the attractive force. If the mass per unit length lambda of this wire is given, right, and the distance between them is supposed to be the height. So what is the attractive force per unit length is nothing but mu naught I1 I2 upon 2 pi d, right? Here it is d is the h. So this is the formula you must remember, right? The force per unit length, right? This is one thing, and the force the minimum magnitude, so that does not rise from the floor. It means the force just balance the weight of this wire, right? If you consider the L length, right, so what is the force, what is the mass? The mass of this portion is equal to what? Lambda into L, right? Lambda into L. So the force must be equal to, say, m into g, right? Mg by L is equal to mu naught I into 2I upon 2 pi into h. And m by L, what is the m by L? You will say lambda g is equal to mu naught 2 से 2 कैंसिल हो जाएगा, and this is I square upon pi into h. So what is the h? Is equal to mu naught I square upon pi lambda g. Which option is the correct option? Third option is the correct option. If you have done correctly, comment your answer. So read this last question 45. This is also the very good question. The spring mass system is given over here, right? So when the system is, the mass is from distance x, right, from its mean position, its speed is what? Assumed to be the v. So suppose this is oscillating between plus a and minus a amplitude. So the total energy is what? Half k square will be converted at this point, the kinetic energy and its potential energy. This is the thing. Half will cancel out. This is the conservation of energy at any point of the SHM performing. It is right. Total energy is equal to the maximum half k square. Half will cancel out. K square is equal to what? M v square plus kx square. Now, according to the question, if graph between v and x is a circle, when it will be the circle? The circle graph is x square, y square is equal to y square. If v and x square, if m and k are equal, suppose this is equal to c. So cv square plus cx square, and this is equal to k in, what is the k? K is the constant which is assumed to be the c. If m and k become c, then the v square x square become a square. So if you draw the graph between v and x, right? So v square plus x square is equal to a square. So the graph between velocity and the speed and the x will be the circle, right? When it is possible, if m and k both are equal. So which option is the correct option? Third option must be the correct answer. This is a little tricky question. It is given in the last of this question paper. I hope you have done correctly and comment your answer, right? If you like this solution, you can share with your friend, right? And you can subscribe my dear sir Kota physics channel.